Hello everybody, welcome back to Bingothon. We're going to be doing some Celeste here. I am one of your commentators. My name is Sushi. I'm joined here
by Blue Eye. I'm here. Hi. I'm ready
Hi.
to watch some bingo. Are you ready to watch some bingo?
I am. So I've been waiting all day for this. I don't know about you.
Same, actually. I was excited to see this hype match between our two runners, Lmjacks2 and TrueGent.
One thing, probably the biggest thing, if you haven't seen Celeste bingo in terms of other games, Celeste is interesting because Celeste does have a lot of cool collectibles and optional sides that we do capitalize on through bingo boards. But it is a very linear game in terms of progression. So we've actually developed a mod that kind of makes the bingo game a little bit more interesting. I don't know if you want to explain that a bit, Blue Eye?
Yeah. So the first thing you'll notice right away is we have prologue cutscenes to be non-skippable, to be able to read so the runners can read the board, have some time to think. And we have some custom progression rules set in place where both players get to assist skip one chapter of their choosing. Furthermore, we do not need chapter 6 to be played. We unlock Summit after playing chapter 5, and you can unlock Farewell after beating chapter 4 in order to balance out the objectives that you can collect.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see there's going to be progression is definitely more of a problem in this in comparison to other bingos, but we've developed ways around it. And our player's going to be starting off here in the prologue. We don't have our dash yet, so this is quite boring. Normally there are cutscenes that we'd skip, but again, as Blue Eye said, we like to really digest the board and think about it for a bit, so we have a nice minute and a half, give or take, to look at the board.
Yeah. All right. And so, what is the first progression? Progression.
I was going to say here, the first objective we're going to see both of our runners race to is going to be in the bottom left corner, column 1, row 5. Talk to Theo in Crossing. Crossing is a checkpoint in chapter 1, and it's basically going to be like in the next minute. We're going to see someone knock that off. So,
yeah. One thing to note about these cutscene objectives is that runners are allowed to tick them off right as they start the cutscene, but they are not allowed to skip the cutscene. You have to mash through and watch the cutscene in its full glory.
Yeah, and I guess
there used to be 4A, the end of 4A cutscene. Oh, I remember.
While our runners will be racing towards that first objective, I'll cover some of the objectives that aren't really intuitive unless you've seen Celeste before. Stun Oshiro. Oshiro is a boss in the last portion of Chapter 3. Stun Seekers 20 times. Seekers are enemies found in Chapter 5. The Huge Mess tile in column 4, row 3. There's one section of the game where we kind of have to complete mini areas, and we can do that in whatever order we please. So that objective has us completed in a certain order. Mm-hmm. There are Wing Berries, which are berries that, also notably, I think that both our runners skip talking to Theo.
They both, so they're already in Crossing, the second checkpoint of Chapter 1, but they have decided to just beat the level instead of going to Theo.
Yeah, to talk about bingo meta here, a huge thing about objectives is waiting how kind of, I like to use the word modular, like how well you can switch stuff in and out. Talking to Theo in Crossing is a 20-second objective that's right next to a checkpoint. You can quit out at any time and get that objective super quickly.
Yep.
So I think the runners right now are valuing the initial time progression for these objectives we're going to see in Chapter 3 and in Chapter 4.
Do we mention it's Lockout? I think that's important to mention.
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere on the screen.
It should be somewhere. But yeah. So they will be racing to objectives. And sometimes you see players collect berries on the way there. There is one objective that is collect 10 berries in 5 different chapters. So grabbing some berries on the way to while you're doing progression will work towards those. The same for 6 wing berries, actually.
So the question here, obviously, is that the players have the option of playing Chapter 2 B-side. The B-sides are optional levels that will give you the same progress as the A-sides, but they're typically a lot harder. Since we are speedrunners, I guess we don't really have to worry about that too much, but It'll give you progression, and also notably on the board we have complete 5 A sides, use 3 binoculars and B sides, and it looks like both of the players here, at least you're going to be getting the cassette, because 3 cassettes is an objective.
Yeah.
So.
2B is kind of weird, as it's the meta has developed that 2B is the progression chapter, even though you lose some time by playing it, just because there's so many things you can grab on the way. So there's 3 binoculars in here, you can get a heart if you want to reach core. You get a cassette, like there's so many things you can grab while still keep, moving on.
Yeah, the biggest thing to note about playing the B
That's
side...
2 binos actually, not 3. Just 2.
While you do get this, you get the same progress, and there are other objectives you can take to, there are no berries on the B sides. The berries are exclusive to the A sides, so all these berry objectives you see, 45 berries, 10 berries in 5 chapters, 6 wing berries, these are objectives that our players are missing out on taking the B side.
Yeah. And actually, in this case, 2B also works towards 2 complete 2A and 2B sides.
This is true.
Generally, you see runners play 5B and then 1A and 4A, so this would just be really efficient for progression. Actually, playing 5B also completes 3 binos in B sides.
Yeah. Well, we'll see as this card plays out, but for right now, we just see our players going through 2B. TrueGent does have a bit of a lead right now, but it is fairly negligible. A Lockout Bingo, at least in Celeste, I feel is a lot more about strategy than execution, because I feel like everyone goes full Peppo. Yes. Everyone really screws up pretty badly in Bingo.
Yeah. It's hard to talk during Celeste. Try thinking about your routing while playing. It's really difficult. Also, what you will probably see on the left side of each runner screen is our custom Bingo UI, where we can keep track of like how many binoculars we visited, how many hearts you collected, all that kind of information that would be hard to remember. Just useful stuff to see.
TrueGent is going to be the first one out of Chapter 2B. That's not going to mark off any objectives for him, but he is going to have a progress advantage as he's going to assist skip Chapter 3 and head into Chapter 4. We have a lot of objectives that are for the taking here, and we're going to probably see like 4 objectives get knocked off super quick. Golden Ridge Cassette is a big one. It's about a minute into the chapter. All berries at the start of 4A is getting the red berries, which again will probably be ticked off in another minute or 2. Get a 1-up in 4A. A 1-up is basically a cute little Easter egg in the game where if you collect 6 berries and don't pick any up until you've collected them all, there's about a 9-frame window where you have to stand on the ground before you collect the berries. As you see on Jax's screen, he's trying to not collect the berries and he's trying to keep jumping so he maintains them falling behind him.
Yeah, I like the play too, where TrueGent will probably skip the start berries. That is this checkpoint. So, and Jax probably knows that since his 2B was kind of meh. So
chances are, if this plays out correctly, TrueGent
okay.
TrueGent should be getting the 4A cassettes, while Jax will be getting straight up 4A berries as well as 1-up in 4A.
Yeah.
And there's TrueGent marking off the first
seeded berry. Alright, should be good.
And while this looks like a yeah.
Alright.
Barely getting that one up.
We got it.
And right now, while this should look like a lead for Jax, as he's gonna have 2 objective to 1, TrueGent is going to have that lead on the 3 cassettes, and he's actually going to capitalize on that right now by going straight back in the city to get that one. So they're going to be even at 2-2, but notably, Jax has not marked off his objectives yet.
Yeah.
Similar to most Lockout Bingos, information hiding is a huge thing. Basically, it's a whole lot of meta. Oh, Jax messing up that trick is kind of unfortunate.
It's a whole lot of mind games.
Yeah. Jax, because TrueGent marked off the cassette, assumes that TrueGent is not going to go for the berries. And while that might seem very unorthodox, obviously this was the right read for him in this case, so he's doing well right now.
He also knows that TrueGent has definitely skipped Resort, because he marked off Rich Cassette. And now, because he just marks off start berries, he can make TrueGent think he's actually behind in progress while they're tied.
Yeah, this is misdirection, lies, and deceit. Jax, well into the chapter, we can see we're basically synced right here, but there's potential that TrueGent might think that Jax is really, really far behind, and that might influence his decision making.
Jack's pulling ahead with a faster strat there, because the next objective is the hidden path before cliff face.
Yeah, and we're probably
cliff face is the next checkpoint, and there's 2 ways to enter it. One of them is the so-called hidden path.
This might come down to not even who does it faster, but who is going
he
to
took the coin?
Oh wow!
Wow!
TrueGent is opting for a bit of a slower strategy here, so I think Jax is definitely going to be the first one to lock it off.
So, do you have to complete the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
There you go.
Jax does choose to lock it off, and this is an oh crap moment from TrueGent. You see him stop in his place right there. But,
yeah, the misdirection has paid off there for Jax. Alright, now that our early game is almost out of the way, usually the mid game is where the choices really open up.
This is where it's going to go see less like a GSA race, as we like to meme in our community, and more like actual high quality 5-head bingo gameplay. As always, I would like to remind you, the objective we talked about at the start, Talk to Theo and Crossing, is going to take about 20 seconds, and our players can go back and get that at literally any time.
Yeah.
But for right now, they're both going to complete out Chapter 4 to get that progress. Usually now, everything's going to be very checkpoint-oriented. If you start something, you want to complete it until you get to the next checkpoint. Because once you mark a checkpoint, you can go back to it at any time.
Yeah, so objectives that are at the end of checkpoints, you generally see players take those on the way there instead of going back for them later.
And both of our players are going to opt to go into Chapter 5A. We're going to see all...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're going for 5B, because there's 2 objectives they can grab and get progress. Although, is Summit even a thing on this board? There's like 35 in 7.
35 berries in 7A, but Summit is not very important. It's worth noting here that whether our players have to play... I'm assuming they're going to play 5B, but Jax is getting some berries on the way. Sue's actually very well poised for 45 berries currently.
No.
But,
and 10 and 5 down the road.
The biggest thing I would like to point out on this card is that you definitely have to enter 3A to win this card, which is where neither of our runners have gone. Let's look at all these 3A objectives. All collectibles in 3A is basically 100% completing the Chapter 3. Talk to Theo and Elevator Shaft is initiating a small cutscene in about halfway through Chapter 3A. All berries in Elevator Shaft. Elevator Shaft is a checkpoint in Chapter 3. Where else am I looking at? Huge mess order. Also, Reach Library is a Chapter 3 B-side checkpoint. So, yeah, there's really... And Stun Oshiro 15 times. Is that 6 objectives in 3A?
Yes. So usually the meta has evolved that almost like everyone skips 3A. This is like one of the few boards where going back to 3A is actually worth it. Jax did mess up a bit in early 5A and he got some berries instead. Is 5A start on the board?
No.
He's just getting convenient berries. Yeah.
This is where we talk about like progression and knowing where your opponent is, because right now TrueGent is actually in the lead, because while Jax did have a lead, he forfeited some of it to pick up some berries, which obviously accumulates well to another objective. But as far as TrueGent knows, Jax was ahead of him last time because he locked him out of take hitting path before cliff face. So
yeah. So in his mind, they're racing to the end of 5B.
Exactly.
But he got Bob's Drop first try, so we'll get the Bino objective first.
And yeah, we're going to talk about this because since Jax opts to get berries, TrueGent is going to take a Bino here and he's going to mark off use 3 binoculars and B-sides. And once he completes this chapter, assuming he should do it before Jax, he will lock Jax out of complete 2 A-sides and complete 2 B-sides. Those being chapters A-sides 1 and 4 and B-sides 2 and 5.
Oh, Jack's also missing the Death Warp.
So you think right now this has to favor TrueGent?
Yes. Yeah, if you really make the read that you would not win this race, you could maybe go to rescue, but that loses so much time. Just because how fast 5B is for any percent sake.
It's also worth noting some objectives here. Once you complete Chapter 5, Reflection Cassette isn't too far away. It's about a minute and a half.
Oh yeah.
As well as only
and you can go
in hollows.
Yeah.
Yep. That's another objective that's enabled. Still does take a lot of time though. 6 wing berries has been on the board, and I don't think we've gotten anywhere close to that.
Jax has been collecting a bunch of winged. He got one in depths.
Yes.
They're missing a wake, obviously, so I think he's at 4 or 3.
And okay, this is where it gets interesting because
so he will need Summit or go back into earlier chapter.
TrueGent right now is opting to stomp Seekers, which you're gonna see here. This is gonna give us another GSA situation. They're actually gonna be completely synced, aren't they?
Also, there's stun 20 Seekers. The way people tend to play 5B at a high level, you get 8 of these stuns for free. Well, quote unquote for free. But no. Well, into crossing.
Okay, this is a very interesting dynamic. Oh my god!
They're making this team. That is such a good read.
TrueGent played that incredibly well, locking Jax out of 2 objectives at once.
But now he can go back into 5B. No.
To clarify what happened there, by marking off stun Seekers 20 times, TrueGent gave off the impression that he was very far into Chapter 5B. And wow, they're not. They really want to give us a race here, huh?
But yeah, sorry. Back to your point.
So by marking off stun Seekers 20 times, TrueGent gave off the impression that he's very far into 5B. So it's almost kind of a bluff because even though you could finish Chapter 5B, and you know, it wouldn't take that long, probably another minute from that point where they both quit out. They deemed other objectives more worth it, and Jax considered that, okay, if he just marked it off, I'm gonna lose this, so I'm gonna go back and get this objective I can get for free. But because the meta is a thing, TrueGent already knew that that's what Jax wanted to do, so kind of one step ahead of him.
Yeah. And now they're both in resort. So Jax still had the impression that he was behind in 5B. Even though I think they have the same, neither of them have gone to Mixmaster, so they're both in into the mirror, so they have the same checkpoint unlocked.
All right, so we're definitely in a race right now. So we're gonna see that huge mess order come into play. That is towels into books into chests. So I believe they are going to do the heart glitch.
Yes.
Not glitch, but
they should do the warp. Yeah. This does give a wingberry to 2 wingberries actually to Jax. One in towels and one that he already grabbed previously. So he's getting this works well towards 6 winged.
It's also worth noting here that how the players collect berries is going to be very important. Obviously right now they're probably not going to opt towards it. Great job by Jax. They're not going to opt towards actually doing the full complete Chapter 3A. But they want to keep that in the back of their mind. Because if you ever need to come back later, you want to get as many of the stuff, as many collectibles that are late into the checkpoint, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to play an entire checkpoint for 3 minutes when you can just teleport right into the next one at any time.
Yeah, they just go grab berry for convenience, right? Yeah. TrueGent actually pulling ahead on execution so far.
Yeah, and TrueGent is still ahead by 1 point right now, so this is a bingo match, alright.
Alright, so there's a Death Warp here. Normally you're not supposed to go back up this screen transition. There's supposed to be a wall blocking your way back. And as such, there's no dedicated spawn point. Meaning that if you press retry, you just get put to the nearest one, which happens to be in the book section. So you get to skip a few rooms doing that. And it's really nice.
And I want to point out now that this race right now is happening between these two. This is going to count as essentially 2 objectives because they're going to mark off the huge mess order and they're also immediately going to get to talk to Theo in elevator shaft. That is a cutscene literally right after Huge Mess. So
and
whoever
you get the
wins
full
this
clear
race,
Huge Mess as well.
yeah. Oh yes.
Because it says all collectibles in 3A. You can do this in any order, so the most efficient way is to fully complete a checkpoint if you're intending to do this objective, and then you can warp to a later one.
Yeah, and I think even though TrueGent is ahead, Jax is getting more objectives, so he's better poised for the full clear. But I think Jax is going to win out this race and get both these objectives as he marks off the Huge Mess, and he should immediately go to talk to Theo in elevator shaft.
Damn, one-day execution race.
And
That's
then
really rough.
he's not even going to have a break because all berries in elevator shaft is going to be back-to-back another race right here.
Which is
Now, look-
racing and resort. What is
Oh.
this? Wait,
Actually, TrueGent is going to quit out.
didn't Jax forget a berry?
I
Hold
did not
up.
know this.
He forgot the Huge Mess berry at the bottom left, didn't he?
I don't remember him getting that one. I could be wrong though.
That is you only need to clear one of the objects to get that berry, but it's kind of annoying. It's still a significant time investment.
But yeah, this is what's interesting from. I want to put some perspective into TrueGent here because right now, obviously, we can see both their screens. We know that Jax got locked out of 3A, and that sucks for him. TrueGent probably doesn't think that. He probably thinks that Jax is in Chapter 6 or in Chapter 5, and he's hiding information. When in reality, he just can't take off anything because he got locked out. So
Yep.
TrueGent, what he's probably doing by leaving that all berries in elevator shaft is he's saying, okay, I know I have this progress. I can get this whenever I want. So it's not even worth for you going for it. But since Jax obviously got locked out of the previous objectives, it is worth going for it because he's right there.
You missed another berry? No. But yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's always important to consider the information the players have. Because sometimes that makes reads, I don't know. I almost want to say forgivable. You know.
So what's
we have
on
to
the
flip
board
it.
here going forward now that we actually see two players in two different chapters? We can calm down for a bit.
See, Jax can start stunning Oshiro 15 times if he really wants to. But I don't think he should. He has the better progress towards that objective. It's kind of weird.
So now TrueGent has complete 2A sides, 2B
Is he
sides.
hiding
Can
it?
we mark that off?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
We'll mark it
It's
off.
not- Yeah.
And we're going to get into endgame pretty soon. I know TrueGent is probably at least going to get Reflection Cassette, but things we want to note here is objectives that really suck. Objectives that
Are slow.
don't correlate well with anything else, and they're just very slow and tedious. We're talking all collectibles in 3A. Completing an entire chapter, all collectibles, takes about 8 minutes from start to finish if you have no prior progress.
Yep.
Reach the intro card and remembered, that is in Chapter 9. So you have to play through about 5 minutes of Chapter 9 before getting there. Pretty slow. 35 berries in 7A. There are, 49? 42? It's 40-something berries in Chapter 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to play basically 10 minutes of the summit to get that one. And complete 5 B-sides. All incredibly, very time-consuming objectives that, even if it does seem like someone has a lead, they can just go out the window, you know?
Yeah, because you gotta remember that Jax has more progress towards objectives that are not finished yet. So that means TrueGent has to either make a correct read on an objective that is not contested, or commit a lot of time into, getting to intro car. Do you think they've practiced intro car recently? That's actually a pretty well hidden Easter egg.
I don't know. I hope we get to see it on this card.
It's
I hope
not.
one of our
That's
players
that's
plays it.
not easy to reach.
I hope we see it on this card, but I don't think we will unless it's you really have to, because it's really just a 5-minute time sink.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see here. Okay, so TrueGent is entering 3A.
That's good for Jax.
That is good for Jax, but here's the thing: if TrueGent goes for the Oshiro box, then we'll have a problem. But if he goes for 3B, this will get very interesting really quickly, because Reach Library is an objective that we thought would be Jack's favorite because Jack's got the cassette, but now the playing field is going to be even.
Alright, there's those Shirobobs.
And here's the deception again, because despite getting the Celestial Resort cassette, TrueGent marks off the Reflection cassette. So I guarantee you Jax will probably enter 3B right away after completing 3A, and we'll have no idea that TrueGent's already one step ahead of him.
He's already ahead.
So we'll see what happens. But if you're an Lmjacks2 fan, you probably really want to see him. I don't even know what he'd do here. Probably enter 5A or get some more berries.
You just want to get a few berries while doing some useful. What else is useful? I guess you do, Grabless. Because Grabless 5A is kind of slow. I don't know, a lot of these are very committal.
To talk about the Grabless objective here, Grabless 5A entails completing the entire chapter Grabless, and completing a chapter Grabless, just for the record, Celeste only has 3 controls. You can jump, you can dash, and you can grab. So by not allowing one of those controls, it really makes the game a lot harder, and some of these rooms can be very, very tough, and it's also something that, with the exception of Bingo, you basically never do. So it definitely makes for creative execution experiences. But usually the way we take it is that you're allowed to do Grabless chapters checkpoint by checkpoint, so you can complete a checkpoint, you can exit out, you don't have to do it all in one go.
Alright, so I'm wondering what Jax is thinking about. She seems to be wondering which berry can I get so I can have 10 berries in this chapter while still being Grabless. And it's really interesting to see. But there's library.
And here's okay.
Oh,
we're
grabbing. No,
we are not grabbing.
We are definitely not grabbing.
Here's the thing, because the objectives to be won here in 5A are Grabless 5A and all berries in Rescue. Rescue being the last checkpoint in Chapter 5.
The Theo section.
So here's the thing, if they both continue doing this majority Grabless, Jax is going to get 2 objectives, and he's going to waste a ton of TrueGent's time.
Yeah. I would almost expect TrueGent to multitask this a little bit, since he has the lead, but...
Also,
for those who are unaware, you guys, sorry.
I was gonna say, did you know if TrueGent finished Chapter 3B, or did he just get the checkpoint he put out?
He quit out.
Alright, that makes sense, but complete 5 B-sides is a objective.
Yeah, but it's still set up, there's no need.
Yeah.
I think that's what you commit to if you are on 12. And he just needs to find a way to get to 12 objectives. But I was going to point out, like, multitasking, for those who are unaware, is working towards multiple objectives at the same time in order to give yourself a head start in every single one of them, just to see, to get an edge on your opponent, and to see, like, which one are they actually contesting, so you don't get locked out and lose a ton of time.
Jax is now going for berries.
Yeah, 45 and 10 and 5.
Which is interesting, because right now he's trying to multitask, but usually that always benefits the person being ahead.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that if you're working on 2 objectives at once, and the person behind has to get that objective, so they have to commit a lot of time to it. Meanwhile, you can commit time to multiple objectives. So if you get locked out of something you were putting a certain amount of time into, it's okay, you're already putting a good amount of progress into another objective, so...
At the same time, there's no really a necessity for Jax to do this objective. Like, I'm pretty sure TrueGent has like 10 berries at most.
But he doesn't know that, that's the big thing.
Yeah, he doesn't know, I guess. And you did lose all the progress objectives, so...
So, as a result of quitting out, and he's also in 5B now. This is interesting.
Oh yeah, wait, this is 5B. It's like, oh, it's just in Rescue, right? Oh no, this is...
I suppose he's finishing 5B for progress. He probably wants to go into Summit to get 10 berries in 5 chapters. That's my opinion, but...
And to set up 35?
Yeah, if he wanted to do that, I think he should have not entered 5A at all.
Yeah.
Because he got that progress, and now, obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but we can see that TrueGent is opting to lock him out of this one here, and he's going to have 2 objectives. If TrueGent continues the rest of doing 5A Grabless, which will probably take another, let's say, 5 minutes to be generous, he will be up to 12.
Yeah, because he can get the Rescue Berry.
Yep, and you need 13 points to win in Lockout Bingo. So this will be a very, very rough time.
Reflection? Okay. So I guess the read he's making is to go to hollows. He also still has grapplers on. Yeah. Oh, no, he doesn't.
I'm really curious what's going in the mind of Bingo 2 Division Champ. Division 2 Bingo Champ Lmjacks2.
Yeah, seems to be missing his read.
I mean, it's not even that he's missing a read. I'm just curious if he has a read at all, because he's going everywhere. He's tackled like 5 different objectives in the last 3 minutes. So.
Yep.
But we'll see here. Now we'll get into kind of a hush as the runners are doing different things. So.
I don't know. Like, being at 12 means that you can just most likely commit to the longest objective and guaranteed victory.
Yeah.
How slow or tedious that may be.
If TrueGent just wants to start playing Chapter 9 and then quit out at some checkpoint and start doing B-sides, then quit out and then do Chapter 3 berries, like, the world is his at this point, because Jax will have to lock him out of every single objective.
Yeah. Just multitask every single thing.
And yeah, Jax here is doing the bottom route in hollows.
I remember when this was the any % route. Do you remember?
I do not.
This was in the route, believe it or not.
Yeah, for those who don't know, hollows is a checkpoint in Chapter 6.
This room was not.
And the biggest gimmick of this checkpoint is the fact that you have multiple times where the chapter will branch off, where you can either take a top route or bottom route, and I think you have like 4 crossroads where you can either take top or bottom.
Yep.
And I believe for the speed run, we take top route almost every time except for one room.
No, I think we take. Yeah, except for one.
The other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's 3 top, 1 bottom.
So.
Top, bottom, top. In this choice, you take bottom. The rest is top.
And I've been looking at but I assume TrueGent got the bearing rescue and he's waiting to mark it off. Then he'll go do the first checkpoint of Chapter 5A with Grappler's bearings on.
Jax has to delay this objective. There's no option.
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to hope. Oh yeah,
okay. I guess you don't delay it. Right, and that's the route complete. You don't have to finish the checkpoint, you have to finish the branching paths, so you can quit out in the last room of hollows.
And here we see Jax's brain working.
He's considering it. He's thinking about it. What is the read? Summit? Yeah. So, I just mentioned that someone could take a very long objective and use that to win. That looks like it might be the read Jax is making. It's also 2 objectives you can collect here.
So just to clarify, for those who aren't aware of what's going on right now, the objective only bottom route in hollows, Jax has completed that. He's trying to mark it off and try to bait TrueGent into doing it, and hopefully he can mark it off, snatch it from him, make him look like a fool. But the problem is that TrueGent is actually doing that objective right as we speak, maybe even sooner than Jax anticipated. So this is legitimately where you want to see Jax, even despite being the first person to get this objective, could very well lose it.
Wait, Gent hasn't complete Grappler's 5A yet?
He didn't do the start checkpoint. He hasn't done the starting checkpoint.
Oh, start. Right. But that's short enough. That's short enough. That's effectively
Jax marks off hollows.
Oh, he marked it off.
So we're gonna see TrueGent's reaction. That was a very nice delay from Jax.
Near
so now we're back to the drawing board.
Alright, where are we going?
TrueGent is gonna finish 5A grabless.
Okay.
This is gonna take probably about a minute. No, it's just the first checkpoint. Not even, like 45 seconds.
It's not that. How much do we even grab in this checkpoint? Not at all.
I have no idea.
No, we don't grab. There's maybe a corner boost here and there, but nothing too big.
And right now, Jax is working towards 35 berries in 7A and 10 berries in 5 chapters, which, if we were into a position where TrueGent was on 12 points, I would say that these objectives are most definitely going towards Jax. He has a clear advantage, but the problem is, Jax probably has to start making some wacko reads, and he probably has to not worry about what objectives he can do, but what objectives TrueGent will do.
Yep. There it is, 12. It's, what is it, 12 to 8? Match point has been called. Where are we going?
He's going to 3B. Side. He might just go for the complete 5B sides, which is...
Yeah.
This is like nothing Jax can do about this one. We're just gonna watch TrueGent play Celeste for 10 more minutes, basically.
Alright, because he has rich cassette, so you can go to 4B, and then you can play 1B, which is about like a 2-minute investment, including the... maybe 210, if you're not that used to 1B. Or 6B,
I also just want to point out the idea of the execution race here, because in Chapter 3, when the two were racing in the huge mess objective, Jax opted to get some berries.
Yep.
That would put him in a better position for all collectibles in 3A. And ironically, we're going to be in a position where TrueGent is going to win without ever marking off that objective, and if Jax didn't get those berries, it would be 10-10 right now. With Jax having both those, or not 10-10, but more or less 11-10. With basically winning odds based on reads, So obviously hindsight is 20/20, but in my opinion, that was the biggest mistake that Jax made in this card.
Yeah, other than just TrueGent having slightly better execution so far in this match. Its routing is the biggest thing, of course, but execution still plays a factor into your ability to complete the board, obviously. But yeah, I agree that that decision was very costly in hindsight. Of course, hindsight. Always hindsight.
Yeah.
Alright. Time for auto-scroller land. Do you like auto-scrollers?
They're okay. I've
seen better. Technically not auto-scrollers, but they're moving blocks that you pretty much have to follow, so they're auto-scrollers. Yeah.
The music do be good, though.
It do be slapping.
Right, we're gonna see Jax here, entering 3A. Right now, he has to make a read for what Jax has to make a read on what TrueGent is doing. So he's going to assume that TrueGent is going to be doing all collectibles 3A. If TrueGent was really a candidate of the people, he would be getting the intro card remembered right now. But
yep,
unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Apparently, there's a way to get the intro card without a jellyfish.
Yep,
but it's difficult.
It is pretty tough.
Otherwise, you'd have to restart the checkpoint every time you fail, which is a big time loss, but oh well. We'll just be looking at 4B. Don't get to see 4B often.
So TrueGent has completed 2B, 3B,
5B.
5B.
Yep.
It'll be 4B, and then he'll just do 1B, and that'll be GG.
That'll be it. Yeah. It do be like that. I think Jax can finish off all collectibles 3A while he's at it. So we get a nice 10 to 13, but yeah.
Man, do I love Lmjacks2.
Like the thing about Jax's decisions, because he noticed us losing in progress slightly, and he did like get some insurance for late game. He was just slightly too far behind where that insurance can come into play. Like all the berries he collected, and the progress in Chapter 3. It's just slightly too much for late game. The Death's berries were kind of slow, yeah, as well.
Yeah, I think
that's like the decision you have to make.
TrueGent locked Jax out of Talk with You and Crossing, as well as didn't really lock him out of the Seekers, but through a progression advantage got.
Oh,
he's
yes.
he's a
I
people's
want to
person.
see intro car. I don't give a damn. I want to see it. I think
Never
we should
mind.
have time.
Jax wins 15-13.
Yeah, he
This
wins.
objective counts as 5.
We just decided new rules. We are going to the intro car. So what is the intro car? Well, there is a car. Big shocker, I know. In Prologue, if you move to the left, it's the car Madeline used to get to Celeste Mountain. But it's hidden in chapter
what?
9. Never
No,
mind.
go
we're
back.
not-
No, Jax.
Never
Jax,
mind.
Jax,
No.
Jax.
No. Jax.
Okay.
Jax.
I just want to let it be known that while I don't represent Bingothon, Jax is not allowed to participate at Bingothon anymore. I know I don't have any ground to stay on that. With that.
It's an
sentence,
opinion
but
and it's correct.
I will do whatever in my ability.
It is objectively the correct opinion.
Yeah. Chapter 9 is a really cool chapter. It brings in a ton of new mechanics such as moon blocks and jellies, and the music also slaps too. So it's really cool to show off.
Alright. Someone just go into Jax's voice and tell him to play intro car.
Alright.
How many B-sides has Jax done? 2 and 5.
He's done...
Yeah, 2B and 5D.
3, 5... 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's gonna complete 1, and that'll be GG.
Yeah, for TrueGent, yeah. There you go. We're both in 1B. One of the more technical B-sides.
Yeah, 1B, even though it is one of the easier B-sides for casual experience, it's actually like really, really hard from a speedrunner's perspective. In my opinion, it's one of the harder
Yep, I agree.
B-sides.
This and 6B, probably. But yeah, I think the viewers also want to see intro car, so we'll talk about that. Good thing 1B slaps, so that's really nice.
I mean, we're in
Music.
Celeste. What level doesn't slap?
Let me think about it. Yeah, you
I
got
don't know,
me.
like 8B?
8B. 7B. Nah, that's fine.
And Jax here, by completing Chapter 1B first. He's gonna lock TrueGent out
Of nothing.
So while he might have won the battle, the war will be lost. Oh, what is TrueGent doing? Buddy.
And they're talking in chat.
Oh, we have some leaked bingo DMs here. Jax says any ending it or, and TrueGent says second to last 1B screen. No problem.
Alright. I have informed Jax the wishes of the people.
Oh, he's going.
He's going assist mode.
I'll talk about a sore loser.
Oof.
Oh, they're both doing intro car. Well, by the way, TrueGent won 13-10, so
Alright,
congratulations.
yeah, that's GG. TrueGent's gonna debug warp to the room with intro car.
Yeah, so intro car is an Easter egg. If in the first chapter of the game, the prologue, you walk a screen to the left.
Yep.
You will see Madeline's car that she arrives to
She
Celeste
be
Mountain with. And it's called the intro car, and it's a funny meme. And for literally no reason, the developers put this model in Chapter 9 as an Easter egg.
Oh, she needs that corner jump. Oh, what? What? Oh wait, assist mode. Never mind. I was like, what is Jax doing? Insane demo strat. Never mind. It's assist mode.
But yeah, we'll see the intro card ticked off, and we'll probably talk to the runners from the interview. There's TrueGent with the intro car.
And there's the intro car.
We can get some post-bingo interviews for you all. So if you guys have any questions for the runners, put them in the chat, and me and Blue Eye will be happy to ask them.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yo,
GG.
that was a pretty good game. I'm just glad it wasn't a blowout, honestly. Like,
That was quite the board.
yeah, it's definitely a board.
I think in general, I just wasn't quite playing quite fast enough, and a panic quit out in 5B cost me the game, I think. Because
Oh,
you
what'd
ticked
you
off
put
Stun
out?
Seekers 20 times and was like, oh, I'm going to get out of here and get Theo and Crossing. And then you ticked that off. And then
Yeah, I got
in Resort,
I got the Seekers in the first room in Pirates and
I figured that out after the fact.
Yeah.
And then, because then you beat me to Theo and Shaft and the Huge Mess Order, and then you
Yeah.
also beat me to
You
finishing
ticked off
5B.
You ticked off 6 winged when I was in that room. So I was like,
I
oh
kind of
god.
figured that was close, yeah. So it was those 4 things
Yep.
Yeah.
where I was just right
That's-
behind you.
Yeah, that's rough. For sure.
And if I had just finished 5B, I think I get 2 A sides, 2 B
I don't
sides.
know, if you had gotten, like, if I had one less objective, like, I almost think you win. Because, like, I don't know what I do to.
the
get
5A
under
play
that
surprised me. I had one checkpoint done, I had depths done. And that one surprised me. I'd say that was like the only real 50-50 that I should have probably looked for.
I just thought it made sense at the time. So
I would like to say GG's to both of you. I guess we definitely always have this after bingo discourse because you never know what's going on your opponent's screen until after the fact. But I'd like to talk with you first, TrueGent, as you were the winner of that card. Were there any moments where you were surprised by how the card played out? Any times where you had to divert your strategy at any kind?
I was surprised when Jax ticked off on bottom row and hollows. I think that's the only real thing that surprised me. What Jax did, most of the stuff that he took off made sense. But, yeah,
I was looking at your win condition as being bottom route hollows, 5 B sides, and then either 7A or 9A.
That does make sense. But
So I had considered 3A and 5A mine for some reason.
And I want to say, Jax obviously had a bit more trouble with that card than TrueGent, but there were, at least from our perspectives, there were some very close lockouts, and I want to know how that felt from your perspective.
I kind of expected the Golden Ridge Cassette one, but I knew that would at least let me get Hidden Path before Cliff Face. Theo and Crossing, that one screwed me screwed me very much up. And same with the Huge Mess Order, because it was like, okay, well that's a double objective because he also gets Theo and Shaft. I was like 2 rooms away from that Huge Mess Order.
yeah, I knew you were like right behind me.
I'm guessing you weren't playing Arb.
No, I didn't get any.
Okay, yeah, that was probably a mistake on my part.
We mentioned that indeed that you were collecting the berries for the full clear, but TrueGent just went for the mess order right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got Hidden Path
gotten
like this, I stopped after coming out of the Hidden Path, clicked on it, and it turned teal. So that was good for sure.
Nice.
Well, obviously, I'm sure you guys will have to rewatch the VOD to see what happened, but
yeah.
For sure.
Why was Talk to Theo and Crossing unticked when they were in Temple?
Because there was so many quick things in Ridge.
Yeah.
Like the quick things kind of end around like end of 5B, like 2A, 2B size is pretty quick, but I didn't go for that obviously. So like Theo and Crossing, it seems like it's really quick, like it's right there, but in reality it's more like 15, 20 seconds. And those probably saw in this game, like Jax was behind probably by less than that. Throughout like Stun Seekers, Talk to Theo and Crossing. Like 20 seconds is a lot.
20 seconds
you
in the
don't know
early
the
game means you lose all the mid-game fast stuff. Usually.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, 20 seconds cost me 4 objectives this match.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at 10 right now, so I mean, it tells you a story.
Yeah.
yeah, Celeste at the end of the day has very, very nuanced movement, so it's to get on the board, it's something you really have to have mastered. But I think Jax and TrueGent did a great job of showing this off today. Obviously, I can recommend, if you're interested in Celeste content, you can follow both of them, and as well as we have a Celeste community channel where we do Lockout Bingo somewhat frequently. But I think we're just all about done, ready to send it over to intermission before Binding of Isaac.
Yo.
Ooh, that should be cool.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned, guys. But I guess from the Celeste community, that's all from us. So I've been Sushi, joined by Blue Eye.
You.
And I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy Bingothon.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
rest of the marathon.
Thanks.
I didn't unmute myself. Okay, cool.
Hello.
Hi.
Ready to go live?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bingothon. It's your boys, Floor and Zonris.
Yo, guys. How's it going?
That was a pretty sick race, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yes. Certainly.
I gotta admit, I never played Celeste, despite owning it, but that was pretty sick. Didn't understand everything that happened, but like, still not knowing anything, it was still super enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, certainly.
So, tell us about what's coming up next, man.
Coming up next, we have The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus, a triple bingo by, let me see if I get those names right, Anti-Zobil Lavaka and Zamiel. I hope those names were at least somewhat right.
I would have probably pronounced those names exactly the same. So, take that for what you want.
Yeah. Also coming up after that, we've got a Pokemon Crystal Randomizer. And for that, we have a bit more going on, which is to choose the trainer name. 7 characters maximum. We currently don't have any options yet, so just a single dollar can get your name in for that. And yeah, if you donate, you also have the chance that your donation gets translated into several unknown languages by Google Translate, then gets translated back to English and gets read out here by us. Oh, and I see we just got a donation in.
Oh.
And let me see what we got here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, damn, that is a big one.
Jesus.
I want to get some hype in that for that in chat. We got a $100 donation.
That's
Woo!
pretty pog. Can we get some pogs in chat?
By MWarner52 saying, "Thank you for your efforts towards this worthy cause. And thank you very much for that donation. We really appreciate it."
Damn, that's pretty hype, not gonna lie.
That is really hype.
I also want somebody right now to donate $3. Then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 as our donation goal right now. That would be...
Oh yes, that would be great.
I just want to emphasize again on this Pokemon Crystal thing. Like, guys, the Pokemon Crystal thing will go for about a little bit less than 2 hours. but you can decide the name for the character, which you will be seeing like throughout the run. Like if you ever play Pokemon, you know that the name you choose will be mentioned a few times. So just a single dollar, you can have any name you want, any meme, your favorite musician, your girlfriend, your dad, I don't know, your dog, anything could be currently the name for just a single dollar. This is your once in a lifetime chance, chat. You got this. Or you could, of course, donate $3, and then we have like 2 birds with 1 stone. We have the cool donation total, and you can choose whatever name you want. Speaking about donations and stuff, hey Flora, what exactly are we even like raising money for? What are we doing?
We are raising money for Fred Hutch, and especially for the Fred Hutch coronavirus research. You know, this virus that is constantly in the media and is preventing us all from doing the things that we want to do. And yeah, I think that is certainly a pretty good cause to donate to, because yeah, I mean, we're all affected by this thing, and yeah, we all want this to go over soon.
Absolutely correct. And I just got informed that the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus runners are ready, so we will kick over to those guys in just a few seconds. So,
oh boy. In the meantime, I was busy with Google Translate. I have used our $100 donation.
Oh boy.
And it got very interesting.
Okay,
let me say it like that. I've translated it to several exotic languages, and what came out after that was a $100 donation. Thank you for all that you have done for this worthless career.
Thanks, Google Translate.
And with that, we're gonna give it up to the Binding of Isaac.
Exactly. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back in a few seconds. PogChamp.
PogChamp.